All right, let's talk about something you see every single day, but maybe don't really see. We're cracking the code on the nutrition facts label.
You know the feeling, right? You're in the grocery aisle, you flip over a box, and bam, you're hit with this wall of numbers and percentages and words you kind of sort of recognize. If you feel like it's a bit much, trust me, you are not alone. It's meant to help, but wow, can it be confusing.
But here's the good news. You don't need that secret decoder ring. Seriously. In just the next couple of minutes, I'm going to give you a super simple framework so you can look at any food label and know exactly what you're looking at. You'll be making smarter choices without any of the stress.
Okay, so where do you even start? The first, and I mean the absolute most important place to look, is right there at the top, the serving size. If you get this one part wrong, everything else on the label is basically useless.
So let's get one thing straight, because this is what most people miss. The official FDA definition of a serving size is not, I repeat, not a recommendation for how much you should be eating. It's just a standardized amount based on what people typically eat. That's it. It just exists so you can compare, say, one box of cereal to another on an even playing field.
And that brings us to this crucial difference. Serving size? That's what the box says. Portion size? That's what you actually scoop into your bowl. And let's be honest, how often are those two things exactly the same?
This chart shows you exactly why this matters so much. Let's take the FDA's own lasagna example. One serving, that's 1 cup, is 280 calories. Okay, but if your actual portion is 2 cups, which for lasagna sounds about right, you have to double everything. Suddenly, you're not eating 280 calories, you're eating 560. And the sodium, it jumps to a whopping 1,700 milligrams. See? That one simple difference completely changes the story of your meal.
Okay, so once you've got your head wrapped around the serving size, there is a fantastic little shortcut for judging everything else. It's called the 520 rule, and it's all about that column on the right, the percent daily value, or percent DV.
The FDA actually makes this pretty easy. They basically group nutrients into 2 buckets. You've got the stuff most of us need less of, like saturated fat, sodium, and especially those added sugars. And then you've got the good stuff we often need more of. Think dietary fiber, vitamin D, potassium. The goal is just to try and flip that balance.
So how do you do that without whipping out a calculator in the grocery store? That's where the percent DV comes in. It's actually a brilliant little tool. It takes all those confusing grams and milligrams and just translates them for you onto one simple 0 to 100% scale. It basically does all the math so you don't have to.
And here it is, the 520 power rule. It is so simple. Anything with a daily value of 5% or less is considered low in that nutrient. That's your target for things like sodium or added sugar. Anything that's 20% or more is considered high. That's what you want to see for the good stuff, like fiber and vitamins. It is such a fast and easy way to just scan a label and know what's up.
Okay, you've got serving sizes down, you know the 520 rule, you're set, right? Well, not quite. Now we get to the really juicy stuff. A little peek behind the curtain that shows you the facts on the label aren't always factual.
Now, this might actually blow your mind a little bit. According to FDA regulations, there's a margin of error, a pretty big one actually. There can be up to a 20% difference between the numbers you see on the label and what's actually in the food.
And the rules are kind of weird. For nutrients that are added to a food, like vitamin D in milk, the product has to have at least 100% of what it says. But for the natural stuff, like protein or fiber, it only has to contain 80% of what's listed. And get this, for the things we're trying to limit, like calories, sugar, and fat, the real amount can be up to 20% higher than what's on the label and still be perfectly legal.
So, how does this even happen? Well, think about it. Lab testing every single batch of cookies or lasagna would be crazy expensive. So a lot of companies use special software instead. They just plug their recipe into a database, and a kind of bot spits out an estimated nutrition label. It's a really good guess, but it's still a guess, not an exact measurement.
So knowing all this, the rules and the loopholes, how do we put it all together to become a truly savvy label reader? Let's build your final playbook.
It really just boils down to these 3 simple things. Step 1, always check the serving size first and be honest about your portion. Step 2, use that 520 rule to do a quick scan of the percent daily value. And step 3, and this is the big one, treat the label as a guide, not gospel. Remember, these are estimates. Its real power is helping you decide between this jar of pasta sauce and that one, right there in the moment.
And there you have it, the nutrition label, totally demystified. It's not about finding the perfect food, it's just about making a more informed choice for yourself. So now that you know the code, what's the first thing you're going to look for on your next trip to the store?